unto you, beloved and holy friends. I'll say, indeed, it is nice having you here with me. Thank you for joining, for sharing in this space, for finding yourself here once again, a part of the spectrum of humanity that we're a part of. I was having this thought today while practicing yoga, and it is limited in the actual mini perspective, but I do feel like it will apply to more than just that as an experience. All right, maybe being all cryptic here. I was thinking about financial freedom, right? Very much so from this perspective that if I had infinite financial freedom, I would be somewhere else on the spectrum, right? And maybe even completely unrelatable or impossible to take serious as a person who is not on that side of the spectrum as well, right? In so many words, I was thinking about the longevity kind of goals that I have, right? And there are way more people on Earth right now having those same kinds of goals, but there are ultra wealthy individuals spending sometimes literally millions of dollars on that, right? Millions of dollars being spent on just making sure they stay young, they stay healthy, kind of thing. And they stay sexy. I wasn't going for sexy, but maybe you're talking about begonia. Like there is a lot that goes into that, right? And then I was thinking about that, and I was considering how I probably am falling behind in comparison to some of those individuals who are spending as much as they are on their health. And then instead of seeing that as something self-defeating, I saw it as like my purpose. Is that the word? My part of the spectrum that I need to like stick around to, right? That it was and continues to be my job to show my community what is possible with as little as possible. Aloha MeltMore, Louisa's back. Hey Louisa, nice to see you again too. It's nice having you here today. How's life treating you? It's foggy out there, like foggy boboggy. Noodle is watching. I wonder if I can show. Look at that. There you go. I think you can see that now. All right, look at that. Just fogged up. Feels like the episode of Mist, or that movie Mist. Like, after watching that movie, Mist was never the same to me again. I used to be fascinated by Mist as a child. And then watched that movie, and then I was like, nope. Yeah, you don't want to watch it. Imagine the premise of it is the US government messed with some sort of tech and then created like some sort of wormhole portal to another dimension. And then as soon as that portal was opened, all of those monsters came out, like insectoid kind of stuff. How many people have you killed for your freedom that you endure every day? Thomas, I'm very lucky to say I've not had to kill anybody, right? And it's an interesting question that you have to ask. Are the plants real? They look plastic. They must be super healthy. They're real. I mean, like you can see there's some little bit of dry bitties there too. Colette, hey friend, good morning to you. It's nice having you here. Melt, you're having August too. There it is, Joe. Nancy mentioned that she expects the fog as well. Yeah, when I was like, oh my goodness, look, Joe, fog, and she's like, yeah, that's normal. I see that every time, all the time, during August/September. Going into autumn. So I'm gonna be seeing a lot of it, I guess. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not actually scared of it, I think. It's just that it gives you that feeling, gives you this experience of, oh, the clouds are really low. And so yeah, it's a little bit ominous, just a wee bit ominous. Why are we being this today, Thomas? Use your time now to explore your feelings. Yeah, it is an interesting question, right? Here he goes.
How many people did you kill?
To enjoy the freedom you endure.
Yeah, like, it's such a weird thing that people think that you have to kill for something that's innate.
Yeah, you were already free.
You're born free.
All of us are born free, right? Yes, I am willing to admit that there are parts of the world that are being subjugated and have to literally fight for their freedom, right? They're having their land taken from them, kind of thing. However, that's not everywhere.
But just because somebody else is doing that doesn't mean you have to kill for your freedom. That's pretty fucked up.
You have to go there and kill them so that you can feel free to kill people. What? Nani? Yeah, I don't really think about killing people much. myself, Thomas. I hope you find reason to not want to either.
As a perspective of a very traumatized coping individual who's told the lie of separation.
Right. Like, I'm sure that they hadn't killed anybody either for their freedom, right? Maybe it's like the like American military perspective where we get told kind of thing that that's what you're doing.
Then you realize that you did it for oil.
He actually did it for oil. We wanted to be free to take those guys' oil. That's actually what it was about. I love you, Joe. Have a good day. I'll see you again soon. You remember all of the stuff you need?
So I don't feel like it.
You still feel like you're missing the thing? You want to take your water bottle maybe? I don't know. Was that one of the things?
Yeah, I'm definitely forgetting something.
Water bottle, paperwork, hairclipper.
Yeah.
Is lief voor jou. Ja, I like her. Zet, laat mij weet wanneer jullie kaap toe kom. My deur is oop vir julle twee, free of charge. That's nice. That's nice, Chad. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. It might be a while before I'll be able to come to South Africa. Unfortunately, it might be a little bit of a while because I am still waiting for government approvement. Waiting on the government to approve of me living here and stuff, so I'm waiting. You may either live in security or you may live in freedom. You may not have both. It's pretty deep. So, goeiedag, my moed chommy. Ek het nou net van jou gedink. Sê asseblief vir jou eggenoot dat Kaapstad is so mooi en ek dink aan julle twee, aan die twee van julle. Dis nice. Dankie man. Appreciate it, Chad. Yeah. She does want to see Cape Town. Jovan would love to see Cape Town. Jovan's the somebody voice, spreading facts. Yo, I think she would love reading that, Nancy. That's wholesome. It is. You remembered?
What?
You remembered what you forgot?
No, I just left the paperwork here on the table.
Wow. I love you. Nancy said that you're spreading facts.
Facts.
Yeah, facts. Your disembodied voice is spreading facts, she says.
I love you.
I love you. Google development itself is telling me to keep it up. Thanks, Google development. I know you're probably not the actual Google development, but actual Google development telling me that I should keep it up has me like, am I being controlled by the deep state? I hope not. I hope not. I think not. I think I'm too countercultural to be controlled by the deep state, unless they're trying to change culture through me, of course. Yes. Yes, more sasso bobasones. How do you manage to sit like that? My knees pop endlessly. I have grown very flexible because of my daily yoga practice. Yes, I can do lotus pose. The longest I've been in lotus pose was like 20 minutes. It does start hurting after a while. You are putting a lot of pressure against yourself. So I'm still not there yet, right? Where people just meditate in lotus for 4 hours. My legs would explode. My legs would literally explode. So yeah, it takes little bit by little bit. I also do feel like I got lucky. My grandma was a gymnast, so I got some I got some extra flexum just by being genetics. Bro, are you hyped about GTA 6? I'm more hyped about fusion energy, and we're probably gonna get fusion energy before we get GTA 6. You look like a Templar Knight. Yeah. Big sword, my shield with a cross on it. Walking. Going to go and pillage people's villages or something. No, Templar Knights don't pillage villages, doesn't they? Didn't they? Are you sure? Pretty sure they were pillaging. Leon, fire, Leo. I'm joking, of course. I'm poking fun at you. Battle ready soldier of Christ, you see. The meek who will inherit the kingdom was the teaching the Bible gave us as well, Leon. You should remember that part. It's good to have a sword, right? But being meek doesn't mean you're weak. Being meek in the traditional translation meant that you have your sword, but you keep it sheathed, right? You do not draw your sword to stabby people. You just have the power. You just have the power on you and choose not to use it. That's how we do. Nice facts, bro. Yeah, Remember, we cannot win this war with the same action that brought about the war, right? We have to do something else. It's very much an American perspective that we earn the right to our own existence, to the shedding of blood. Pretty sure it's another weird Jesus thing. Yeah, has something to do with it. All right, I would not recommend you watch the movie I'm going to talk about next, right? Because there are parts of it that's rough. Oh my goodness. But we watched Blazing Saddles last night, right? I did not know what to expect at all. Not at all. All I knew that Gene Wilder was an actor in it, right? That's why we watched it. We watched the old Willy Wonka movie, and then this is one of the other movies that was on the list. And it was rough. Like, it felt like that movie literally tried to insult or offend everyone, right? Like, it literally went for everyone. I don't think it didn't offend anyone. It just kept offending. So much offense. So much yikes, bo bikes, all right? And there was, in that, for me at the very least, I know they were exaggerating. They probably were exaggerating how bad things were back in the 1800s. However, imagining the average American coming from that, like, environment, right? Like, I think about it like organisms growing in a petri dish, you know? The petri dish that is America are optimized for certain creatures to continue to exist, right? And the creatures that ended up existing, the creatures that was allowed offspring, are pretty wild, right? Bloodshed, I think, is a very big a part of American culture, almost, right? If you think about the media as well, shoot 'em ups movies, I think, are still popular. I haven't watched a shoot 'em up movie since I was like 18. You know, it's interesting how we change, how there's a spectrum of ways of being. And it definitely seems like this spectrum of being has had a lot of influence. Me and Joe talked this morning about someone that I had met in this world who told me about how he, as a high schooler, would drive his dad's truck to this like mini lake, and then they would all park their trucks in a circle, pointing the lights inside, and then they would fist fight one another. That's it. That's the whole story. And I was like, oh, for what? And he's like, yeah, we would just do that. And I'm like, but why? He's like, because it was fun. And I'm like, were you mad at each other? He's like, sometimes. Sometimes we're mad at each other. And I was just so flabbergasted. Like, I was He was telling me a matter-of-fact story, very realistic, very like, yeah, this is what happened. And I was like, surely not. Surely you don't just fist fight one another. Surely they did. They do that. And I am still kind of shocked that that is something that happens in this world. In this world, right? I come from Africa, and there was pretty rough and tumble kinds, but never did they go and just fist fight one another because they wanted to, right? They had like a whole mission. They were like, yeah, this afternoon we're all gonna get together here, and then we're gonna fist fight each other. That's what we're gonna do. Like that shocked me. Maybe it's a part of this particular environment. I'm in like a small town, Indiana kind of thing, right? So that probably has big draw. But I was so flabbergasted. I was like, and if you think about that kind of character, right? The kind of character that for fun goes and fist fights other dudes, you know, murder isn't that far, isn't that far of a stretch kind of thing. I imagine. How do you manage to sit like that? Bless again. Don't do those dances, please. Don't tell me what to do. Oh, I'll dance, even though it's not my dance day, just because you said I shouldn't. By moving every day and keeping the hips open and the cartilage in the knees soft, man. Yeah. It's a horror movie for my knees, and yes, I have started stretching myself, man. I'm so happy to hear that, bro. It's good that you're starting. That's the most important part. It's not about already being flexible, it's about remaining flexible or finding your flexibility. Al goed, my vriend, I'll take you both to the mooie wijnenland area van Parel, Stellenbosch en Bosendal and Kylemore and Nilwijnkelder. Dude, I don't really drink wine that much, Chad, personally. Alcohol and me don't have a good relationship. I'm one of those heavy drinkers, not in alcohol, but in everything, right? Like this is a conversation I had with Joe. If I don't gulp something, it's like my body doesn't register that I drank something. Taking a sip of something and then swallowing is more akin to eating than it is to drinking to me, right? So when I drink a glass of water, I don't get myself a glass of water and sit down with it and then take sips of my glass of water. When I get a glass of water, I go, you know what? I actually should drink a glass of water. Let me show you. This is what glasses of water get drank like. Right? And the same thing happened, unfortunately, when I used to drink alcohol, because I would be drinking it like it needs to be drank. Right? It's like, oh, I guess I have all of these liquids in my hand. Let me finish it. Alright, I'm not gonna try and be comical about how fast I drank it, but some glass? Right? Like there's definitely people that drink faster than that. But that's just the nature of the way that I drink liquids. So when I used to drink alcohol, that would be the case as well. It's like, okay, gulp 'em. And then at some point I realized that that's not a healthy relationship with something that's intoxicating. However, Chad, I do like the taste of wine, right? So I might be convinced to just do some wine tasting, right? If they give me small little glasses, then I could be sippy about it or something. I've spent an hour choosing what kind of coffee mug I should buy. I can't decide. It's funny. Jo wants to buy herself a coffee mug specifically for her office as well. And she also had a moment of indecision. Fables Illustrated. You need help? You like big volumes? You want something with a design on it? What's the bottleneck? Fun fact, Grandma was a gymnast. A gymnast and professional revolver shooter. How about that? She could shoot a revolver professionally. Like, to the point where she was competing nationally. I don't know if she was competing internationally, but she was competing against the whole country. My grandma could shoot a revolver. Bah, 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 hit her shots. Nice facts, bro. I saw Leon. Bless. How tall are you? You seem pretty tall. I mean, I'm pretty short. I'm 1 centimeter under 5'8". I am 5'11", technically. Right, but with my hair, that extra inch, I'm technically 6 foot. Like this, if I get this tall, I'll be 6 foot. But alas, I'll have to be short king, as Sam hates people saying. Because I'm not 6 foot. There's no six in front of my height number, which means I'm short. That's apparently what society has said. Interesting combination of metric and imperial measurements. Yeah, the 1 centimeter under 5'8". I was like, It is, of course, just 1 centimeter, right? Like, they couldn't just let you be 5'9", dude. You had to be 1 centimeter under it, right? Where if you were measuring yourself in centimeters, you would be more established in the number. I am 178 centimeters tall, right? So just under 1/8. 1/8 is like 6 foot. Interesting combination. Bless again. Gesoord is die. Kant van die wereld. Ons gaan die Afrikaans moet los, Chad. I know you're Afrikaans. I know we love our language. But we're not the only ones in this space, right? Like, imagine if it was just me, you in a room, and then there's like, right now, 10 other people in the space with us, and then we just talk Afrikaans to one another. All right, that would be rude. That's the way I would feel about it, at least. The most shocking movie that I watched was, I wouldn't watch that one, Leon. Maybe that's why you found God, bro. Like, you probably needed some Jesus in your life, after watching something like that. I'm so sorry. Are you allowed to talk about the Fight Club? Technically, no. But also, it's like one of those soft rules, right? One of those soft rules. Just 6 likes. Please like and subscribe the channel, guys. I'm not here for likes and subscribes, Tara. I'm here to show up, to be here with you, friends. What's your opinion? I don't have much opinion. If you can savor a beverage, wine is one of the better ones to do that with. I think I've been able to savor wine. I've never glucked wine, technically. All right. Usually it's beer that gets glucked. Yeah. Most of the beer I've ever drank, I drank before I was 18, which is also something I'm ashamed of. But I'm happy that I stopped. I'm super happy that I stopped. It's been a decade since I was a beer drinker. That's pretty cool. It's wild that it happened so fast. I don't feel like I missed anything, right? And I know for a fact that I saved thousands upon thousands of dollars, all right? Which is like... I didn't have any thousands of dollars to spend on beer, of course, but I still saved thousands of dollars. Yes. Happy. Thank you, Tara. Bless you too. Maybe wine is the one glass and a jug of water to be poured when he wants it and not when the glass is empty. Liquid to savor, liquid to gulp. Yeah, that's what Joe suggested as well, that I should drink a lot of water, right? To the point where I, don't want to drink anything anymore, and then I could have a beverage, and then I'd maybe be like, okay, then I'll have to drink a little bit by a little bit, otherwise I'll burst. Oh well, can you imagine a gymnast simultaneously shooting a revolver? Sounds kind of hardcore. Sorry, not sorry, Dan, she says. Just imagine those like legs. I'm imagining her on one of those beams, right? And then her legs go forward. And then as her head and arms go forward, she shoots a revolver. Yeah. I see it, Nancy. That's pretty hilarious. There is no six, so I am short. Bro, I've met you. That's a fucking lie. V5, motherfucking here. He's a giant. I'm not that big. Right. And the only reason I can say that with confidence is because I've met people that are actually 2 meters tall. Right? what's that, 7 foot? I've met 7 foot humans, right? And after I've met 7 foot humans, it humbled me, right? I've grown up my entire life being, you know, close to the biggest guy in the room, right? Or at the very least, I'm like eye to eye level with all of the big guys, right, in the football team and stuff. So I've never thought about how big I am because I was always equally as big, if that makes sense, right? I'm equally as big as everyone else, so I'm normal sized to myself. I was to myself normal sized. When I look at myself in the mirror, I make eye contact with me, which means I'm normal sized to myself in that way too. And then I went to China and I was sitting down in this little like food square and I suddenly feel this presence, behind my head. And I look up to see what's clearly a big man. I'm like, wow, this guy's fucking massive. But it's the first time that I'm meeting him. So I stand up from my seat to, be nice and greet him. And as I stand up from my seat, he's still tall. I still feel like I'm sitting down, right, after I stand up. And it was at that moment that I realized, oh wow, well, I am tiny actually. In comparison to that, I think he was 213 centimeters tall. He was hired by a Chinese team to play for them. He was from America. Fucking massive unit. 213. Okay, yeah. 6'12". So that's basically 7 foot, right? That's basically 7 foot, okay? It's 6.98 foot. He was like basically 7 foot. 7 foot human being. I was flabbergasted. I was like, oh my goodness. All right, so I don't know if I can take the V5 home. Right. I have more bulk, right? Like I could probably win in a fight against that guy. But he probably just had to like reach his arm out and put it against my forehead, and I won't be able to touch him. Like a little kid style, literally. It was very humbling, Sam, and I've kept that humble. I've kept it. I'm like, nope. Actually, I'm tiny. Actually, I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little small guy. I know Sam, would say otherwise. Joe probably too. I look forward to meeting all of your friends at some point. You can decide for yourself. But I'm normal sized. Okay, I'm just myself. I've never not been like this. I've been like this since I was 14 as well. Right? Maybe that's part of the reason why I was served alcohol. Right? I took great confidence. Like this is something that I did, which I did get into mild trouble for. We were on a school camp to a water resort. Is that the right way to say it? Right? Not a school camp, an outing, right? Where we went to this like water park. And this water park is of course, open to the public. And they did have a bar. And all of us were wearing, our skivvies, our normal clothing. And I did go up to the bar and order myself a beer. And despite the fact that there were children all around me, right, and they knew that there was a whole school of children there, without missing a beat, he just served me, right? And the look on the other kids' faces, I will never forget. I felt very cool, of course, as a 14-year-old, getting served. But it was because I was big, right? I looked like I could be an adult. It's like, he could probably be an adult. Kid is big. If I had to guess between light blue and yellow, hello everyone. The spectrum, Darren. It's nice having you here. Hey bloke. Personally, the best beverage is cold pressed veggie or fruit juices. Freshly made. My cool? I've been thinking about drinking freshly juiced, fruits actually. I've been eating watermelon and apple relentlessly. I make the juice myself. My cool, those are very tasty. Yellow Darren. Prairie Wolf. Nah, and I had a carrot and a rose petal juice for lunch today. It was so delicious. Carrot and rose petal juice. Fancy. That does sound delicious. It does actually sound kind of nice. One of my favorite juices is carrot and pineapple, weirdly enough. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, Jules. It's nice having you. 2 meters is only 6'6". Yeah, this guy was 2 meters and 13 centimeters. So, like that much on top of being 2 meters tall. The height, that height is a respective one for American football players and basketball players. Yeah. He was a basketball player. When Banyana is taller than 7 feet. That's crazy. Yeah, that confuses me as well. Prairie, morning, Nancy. You're a champ. Thank you, Lau. That's nice. So, was Stargate, and it remains the best sci-fi franchise of modern TV. I watched Stargate as a child, like literally as a 7 and 8-year-old. I watched Stargate, and I loved it. I freaking loved it. I did not like the little worms and the people. That part messed with me. I was like, the fuck? The fuck? You know what I'm talking about? I think Sam knows what I'm talking about. She knows. The little worms inside the people in Stargate. Yes, it says the little worms inside the people in Stargate universe are called Goa'uld. Goa'uld. They are frequently referred to as symbiotes. In their natural aquatic state, they are small, eyeless, snake-like or worm-like creatures with sharp jaws. The sharp jaws is the thing that messed with me. They enter a host, usually humans, by burrowing through the back of their neck, and then they wrap around the upper spine and they integrate into the nervous system to seize absolute control of the body's host and mind. The side effect is that they completely suppress the host consciousness, and they also grant the host perfect health, extended longevity, and immense physical strength. They also are known for making their host's eyes briefly glow. Yeah, and then there are two factions. The Goa'uld, the dominant agnostic faction, they take hosts by force, claim to be gods, and then enslave entire worlds across the galaxy. And then there's the Tok'ra, a rebellious offshoot of the same species. They despise the Goa'uld and only enter into willing, symbiotic partnerships with their human hosts, sharing the body equally rather than suppressing the human's mind. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, I hated that. I hated it so much, Sam. There is one. I hated it. I hated it. I hate it even more looking at it now. I'm hating it. No. Even if I got a Tok'ra, right? Perfect health, longevity, immense physical strength. Miss me with all of that. I don't want a worm inside of me. I don't want the worm to be crawling around my spine. That was the one part that I was like really getting messed with, Sam. I was like horrified as a child. I was like, oh my goodness, that's not real, is it? Somebody tell me that's not real, please. Because I was convinced, slightly, as a child. I was like, yeah, this could totally work. I believe it. I totally believe this could work. We could. We should. We should Stargate everywhere. And then I saw the worms that burrow into people's back of necks and curl around their spines. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm good. Actually, I'm going to chillax. Actually, Earth is fine. Actually, I don't have to go anywhere else. Oh my goodness. Oh, hey, there we go. A Saturday Stargate will start this weekend, folks. That does sound nice. Good mid afternoon, Matthew. Bless. A little bit of everywhere in that house. I'll keep you right. We have sad news. I hope you're okay, friend. Best sci-fi series ever was Lex. I don't know that one. Oh, pineapple is so good for us. It's full of bromelain. Yeah, bromelain. It's so beneficial. Yeah, it's good for your mucous membranes, right? It is true. It can also dissolve the inside of your mouth, technically, but that's if it stays there. What even is that, Prairie? I also don't know, Lex. What's the bad news? Watermelon is awesome for varicose veins. Also electrolytes, getting hydrated, true. German-Canadian series, Weird AF, Google it. It's called shit. Banned in a few countries. Oh, we got Shivangi joining us. Good morning, friend. We're talking about some interesting stuff. We're talking about being on the spectrum a little bit, you know, realizing that there's all kinds of spectrums. Lex with two X's, television series. Oh my goodness. I think I just, I can instantly see why this was banned, right? Looking at that makes me wish that it was banned from the internet as well, and I didn't have to see that. Especially that lady's face, right? She looks like she's gonna eat me. She looks like she's ready to like consume my flesh. Like that's not a look that I want to see, you know, in an alley. Like all of them. What's the mask? Why is that guy holding the mask? He's holding the mask in every shot. All of these are this. Relax. All right. Like this is the stuff of nightmares. Tale of a group of misfits who inadvertently steal the most powerful weapon of destruction in two universes. The Lex, an enormous sentient insect genetically modified for space travel and planet-destroying capabilities. Although they have no real authority, they travel through hostile and chaotic universes, having a variety of adventures. You know what? I'm back to thinking it sounds kind of cool. As long as that lady doesn't look at, you know, the camera like that ever, then maybe I could stop watching. Those crazy eyes turn me on, not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Crazy eyes sent me running. Like I think my survival instinct is too strong. If I see too much crazy there, I'll be like, okay, you know what? I think I need to run. I think I need to GTFO. I haven't seen Stargate. I don't know why or what I was doing. Yeah, it was good, Nancy. Maybe we can start watching it together. That's what Sam's pushing. They're just jumbo shrimp melt, and it's a metaphor for the deep state controlling you through your fears. Ah, of course. I don't want jumbo shrimp burrowing into the back of my neck either. Right? I'm way more okay. Maybe that's why I'm okay. Right? Maybe Stargate influenced me in that way. I'm way more okay with surgically implanting chips into my body than I am with the idea of a worm, you know, burrowing into my skin and, you know, twisting around my spine. Like that shit fucked me up. I was like literally horrified as a child. I was like, surely not. Surely that won't happen. Just have to make sure I don't have a hole in the back of my head. That immediately makes me want to watch it. I mean, did you see that? You see that thumbnail? My secret weapon seems to have worked. My head feels nice and clear today. I went with a scorpion pepper on the side of my meatloaf. A scorpion pepper. Darren was feeling a little bit under the weather yesterday, feeling a little bit groggy and sick. And he put a thermonuclear bomb inside of his body. And all of the viruses was like, hey, let's leave. This place is not a nice environment for us to proliferate in. And I'm happy that you're feeling better, Darren. That's cool. I trust that is why. I think that's what happened. Well, you're gonna start with the Roland Emmerich in '94 film Prairie. And she'd be hooked. I saw that just this morning on Old Hag subreddit. What a lady. Somebody passing. Your meatloaf? Visible disgust. I don't know. You were calling it that. Good to hear you're doing better. I think. Oh. Sam was making a joke, but I was taking it seriously. Oh, that's interesting. We'll definitely check it out. Matthew. Hey, hello all. It's been a hot minute. Hey, Christy. Welcome back, friend. How are you doing? How is life treating you? How are the kids? How are you and your husband? It's nice to have you here with us, friend. We can only process bromelain via sublingual, so the longer we chew it in the mouth, the better. Not all pineapple is acidic. If so, it wasn't ripe enough. Yeah. I do enjoy pineapple, for what it's worth. My cool pineapple. I have regretted it, but more often than not, I've not regretted it. But I have eaten whole pineapples in a single sitting. And not all of the pineapples hurt me, right? I've had like 10% of the pineapples fight back. I'll eat the pineapples with the skin. I wish I was joking. I cut the sharpie bits, those little dry, thorny bits. I cut those off, but then I eat the skin. I also eat the skin of my mangoes and kiwis. I tried eating the skin of oranges and citrus. I tried the citrus skins. Just too astringent for me. I tried eating banana skins. Too fibrous. Not fun. Watermelon skin doesn't taste like much. Tastes like green. Didn't like that either. What other skins am I willing to eat? The skin of my enemies. No, of course not. I've always eaten the skins of apples and pears. I've never skinned my apples in that way. Yeah. I like freezing my blueberries so that they get, all shattered so the antioxidants release. Yeah. Eating good stuff. Your wingman's primary job is to hit you with the fire extinguisher, isn't it, Neo? Matthew, my friend, and I went to see an exhibit of hers at the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. I liked her energy and how her energy was expressed through her art. Nancy, that sounds incredible. Is Matthew your friend? Oh, maybe you're just telling Matthew. Yes, Nancy. I'm happy that you... Oh, maybe you're talking about the person who passed away? I think so. Went to see an exhibit of hers at the San Francisco Museum. That is really cool. Have you ever visited MOBA, the Museum of Bad Art? It's online. Brick 2 in some cities. I haven't actually seen that one. My daughter can't drink either. She just downs it. She drinks everything like that. It's my daughter's 38th birthday today. Jules, I hope that she has a good birthday. I hope that you're going to celebrate with her. Sending you both so much love. Thank you for letting us know. Now I'm gonna look into that. Good morning, pineapple. Very good, very nice. All is well here. I've been so busy. This summer break kicked my ass. The kids start school Monday, and I'm like, thank you, babies. Thank you. Yeah, 3 kids. Having to deal with 3 kids. Like, it's hard enough dealing with one person, right? Having to deal with 3 peoples, right? 3 different wants and desires, 3 different thought forms, like, I think I want to do this, and then this person thinks they want to do something else, and then the other one thinks also, and then you don't get to think for yourself. You think there's room to think for yourself? There's 3 kids to be thinking about instead. I feel you. I hope you get some good rest. Thank you for joining us here again, Christy. Sending you love. Happy birthday to your daughter. That's nice. I think I saw a Chinese lady rubbing the inside of a banana skin on her arm and saying it was good for a complexion and shit. Maybe look into that and see if you can use the peel that way, Melt. That sounds like a vibe, right? I would not want to be seen rubbing banana peels on my skin. But maybe I can do it in the privacy of my own home. What do you do when nobody is watching? I rub banana skills against my skin. I'm already weird enough, Sam. I don't need people to have more ammunition against me, right? Be like, haha, you're that guy that rubs banana skewers on Hermescarians. And I'll be like, how did you know? I feel like I'm so out of it a little bit today. But I feel more in it than I did yesterday, so maybe that's fine. Yay. Joined and enjoying. Thanks, Mr. MeltMore. Thank you, Kevin. Your kindness is always felt and appreciated. CJ Ando, yours too. Good. Sending you good vibrations your way, Lord Commander. Thank you, friend. Back again, Matthew says, I eat most fruit with the skin. That's where the minerals are. Yeah, citrus skin is better to cook with over eating raw. Watermelon skin makes a great sweet. You just soak it for a day and then dehydrate it. I've heard this. I've heard people do that. I think I should try stuff like that. Cooking the citrus skin, you said. You candy it as well, kind of thing. But it is true. Most of the minerals and vitamins are in the skin, antioxidants as well, right? It's like the barrier, so it tries to deposit, right? It's also the first thing that forms, technically, so that's where all of the energy has to go first. Shongalolo bra. Why is the man having banana? Exactly, Shongalolo bra. Exactly, that's exactly what I meant. You see, now we got people asking questions. We were talking about fruit and consuming fruit, skin and all. And then I mentioned that banana skins don't have what it takes. And then Sam was like, maybe you could use the banana skins on your skin instead. All right. We can figure out a way to use all of the fruit. There is a way. There has to be. Let me see. Speaking of zest, wait a second. I eat most fruit with skin as well, just not the citrus. I use it as a zest when I cook. And then Nancy said, speaking of zest, I'm going to make some lemon bread today, and lemon zest is in the recipe. You mentioned wanting to make some lemon bread. I hope it turns out great. I don't think I've had lemon bread much. I've had bunches and bunches of banana bread in my life, but I don't think I've ever had lemon bread. It does sound nice. Shay, my sister-in-law, recently started making a ube kind of... It's like a pie, I guess. It came from a lemon slice recipe. And then she replaced the lemon ingredients with ube ingredients. Ube. I don't know exactly how to say it. It's UBE, all right? It's purple kind of root vegetable, I think. And it's nice. It's really nice. But that's the closest that I've got to eating something lemon in a long time, and it wasn't even lemon, right? Just most of the recipe used to be. I've been breaking out so bad. Me too, as of late, Christy. I also had like a little bit of a breakout session. I'm getting better again, right? I've been washing my face. Been washing my face every day. Nothing changed. My pillows were washed like 3 days ago, right? So that's clean as well. But yeah, I got like some hydrocolloidal patches, taking care of one of these. It's not that visible, but you can see it if you look for it. That little duty there helps my skin heal underneath, because that really is the problem, is when it doesn't want to go away, right? Where it just like keeps going. It's like, oh, I'll lose my mind. Right? It's one of those things that I really wish wouldn't be. I feel like I rolled some sort of dice, right? That I got like a bunch of specs that I got to like choose of, and I clearly neglected the not having pimples spec, right? I like maxed everything else, and then I didn't have any points left, and the pimple specs, it kind of like stayed. Full of grown-ass adults, and say to yourself, yep, I'm gonna try to bully these folks. I think, I don't know if he's trying, right? He keeps coming back, or they keep coming back, I don't understand exactly what's happening there. Exactly. Christy, washing in hot water, then cold water, followed by a clean towel to dry, no soap. That's not bad advice. Warm water and then cold water. I've been trying to not rinse my face with warm water actually. Put your vape away and go back to the history class, Melissa. We have a beautiful and abundant mayor lemon tree in the backyard, so I'm always looking for ways to use the lemons. That's clever. Yeah. When life gives you lemons, as they say, Nancy, make lemon cake, make lemon bread, make lemonade, make lemon tarts, make lemon jello shots, make lemons. Where you cut the lemon in half and then you squeeze lemons over your lemon. So your lemon is extra lemony for when you want a full lemon experience. Nancy, I'm jealous. Lemon tree, I wish. Not something, I mean, maybe you can't. I was gonna say, not something you have to wish for, but I don't think Canada allows for lemon trees to continue to survive, right? Every time the frost comes, dead is your lemon tree again, probably. Ooh, Mayor lemons are my favorite. Nice. He knows. He knows those lemons even. I don't think I know what the Mayor lemon is. What makes them different? Smooth skin. I'm gonna try it. I never break out, but I don't know. I guess it happens with age. It could. Yeah. Stress. You mentioned being a little bit more stressed. I think stress is one of the big drivers for me to get pimples. Right. When I find myself in high stress, the pimples will be popping off. And then when I eat a lot of sugar. All right. Like one time we went to the theaters and we got slushy, and it was like free refills, and it was like a $20 slushy or something like that. Some fucking criminal amount to pay for a slushy, and I was like, charge me $20 for a slushy. I'm gonna drink $20 worth of slushy. So I did drink like five volumes of slushy. And the next day, my skin was like, okay, I'm going to now, communicate in Morse code with the internet gods using your skin as my surface area. It was rough. You learn the hard way over and over again sometimes with that stuff. It's hard to grow fruit here in the East Coast, not the proper climate. Checks out. My mom lived down south and grows oranges, lemons, limes, and has a papaya tree. Papaya is very nice to have as well. Are the lemons that come out in the winter noticeably different from the ones that come out in the summer, Nancy? Sam, I can't tell the difference. But then I was never thinking about noticing if there is a difference. Yeah, lemons are pretty sour usually and lemony. For me, the favorite thing about lemon trees is the blossoms. Right, when they're on their way to growing the lemons, they smell incredible. Like I would literally, and I'm serious, I would literally just walk amongst our citrus trees back home and just smell them, like regularly, like at least 3 times a week, probably every single day of the week when it wasn't full bloom. I spent 30 minutes just walking tree to tree, smelling the flowers. It smelled so good. I can't get enough of citrus blossoms. I think that would be the smell I would wear if I could as well. If that smell could be perfect, I'd wear citrus blossoms. Technically, my shampoo is citrus blossom scented, so my hair smells like citrus blossoms right now. Nan, if it was such a cold spring here, even the crab apple trees didn't flower. No sour cherries or wild pears or apples this year. That is a bummer. That is odd. The climate is changing. Yeah, significantly. Man Bear Pig told you it would. He told you all. And you decided not to listen. Now here we are tearing shit up unchecked. It's hard to grow citrus here, but we do get pears and crab apples and apples. Fun fact, citrus peel is amazing for anxiety. Peel the fruit slowly, then grab a piece of peel and squeeze it under the nose, inhaling the vapor. Breathing in slowly, relax. Yeah, they do have oils in the skin. I've never huffed the skins myself like that, but I used to like spritz them on my hands and then rub the oils into my hand and then do like that, which also brought me a sense of joy and calm. But I guess it's the same thing. You can't just woo mainline those citrus blossoms, those citrus peels a little bit, and I get all of it in. What did I just? How did I? Ah, that's how. Wow, it is wild how quickly it adds up. Love is true. Oh my god. My cool, nice. It's nice having you here, my cool. So the first time you're joining us in this space? I think it might be, right? It really has been a pleasure sharing. Hot show, really hot show. Thank you, Kevin. You flatter me, bro. I worry sometimes that I am uninteresting. I really do. Hey! My melty clock almost went flying. You stay right there. I think it's almost time for this duty to get watered again. Yeah. The spectrum. Right? Now that we have a little bit more friends, perspective in the space with me, I started today's stream by talking about longevity a little bit. Right? And feeling that I, in some ways, because I don't have, financial freedom just yet, that I am falling behind, right? That I don't have access to barometric chambers and, interesting peptide, therapies and adding, right? Like there's a bunch of stuff that will cost me a bunch of money that I know for a fact would probably help me, age slower. And I was thinking about how that is not a bad thing. That in fact, it actually makes me more relatable, right? That it puts me on a spectrum where I'm a little bit more, I want to use the word equal, but like in the same boat as every single other person that potentially joins themselves in this space, all right? If you earn any money, literally whatsoever, you probably have more money than me, right? You could be working at McDonald's and you probably will have more money than me. That is the reality of the situation, right? And from that perspective, I, in trying to bring into this space ways in which we can stay healthy, ways in which we can ensure that we age gracefully, right? I feel that I am where I am because I need to be here right now, right? That I need to almost like have that as my foundation to know that I can take care of myself. I can slow my aging. I can, improve my quality of life, my health outcomes with nothing, right? With something as simple as just eating food and then, sleeping appropriately, drinking enough water. So yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I was going for today in talking about the spectrum of experience that we have, right? And I feel like that is the case for all of us. I ain't paid enough, but I'm paid enough to keep going back. That's how they make it, don't they? Shangri-La. When I was in China, literally, one of the reasons they didn't want to pay me more is because, in their own words, if they paid me what I'm supposed to get paid, what they've noticed is that the teachers they hire will only work for 1 year and then they will leave back to South Africa. Whereas if they pay us less, we stay longer because it takes us longer to save as much money as we would want to before we feel like we've had enough. All right. And like them reasoning like that to me, I was like, are you crazy? Yep, it's a common tale. Yeah, Nancy knows. I was like literally feeling like I was losing my mind. I was like, how is that a reason, right? If you paid me how much I'm worth, I'm not gonna want to go somewhere else, right? Like I'm gonna want to keep earning this good money. But I did. By the way, I did leave that company because I was like, I'm not staying here. Shut up, pay me. I'm still doing my work. And I'm a great employee, by the way, I'll say as well. I didn't miss a single day. I didn't miss a single day of work. One time. Ever. Ever. I'm serious. I have called in once for being sick. Not at that job when I was in China, but once before when I was working in AV. I called in one time. Other than that, I've not missed a single day of work. And I was working Saturdays and Sundays sometimes too. Didn't miss my Saturdays and Sundays either. I'm a relentless worker, right? I love working. I do, actually. However, I also do believe in getting paid fairly for the relentless work that I do as well. And going to my boss and being like, hey, I just heard that people that are working in the same city as us is getting paid like 50% more than my salary, right? And I was like, that's not okay, is it? And they were like, yeah, you can discuss salaries again after you've worked here for a whole year. I'm like, how about no? How about we're gonna discuss salaries right now, right? I'm very not scared of confrontation as well. And I basically like created a little mutiny. I got Amber and Shay and Ash and Alicia and Ryan to all join me in my posse. However, the old teachers that were there before us were on the other side of the posse. And one of their reasons, right, defending the boss and not paying us what we're worth, and they were all being paid more than us, by the way. But one of the reasons that they thought that we shouldn't be paid more now is because when they first got there, which was 5 years ago at that point, they were getting paid 2,000 RMB less than us, which is like $100, right? 5 years ago, when we just got here, we were being paid 50 bucks. No, it's basically like $100. We were being paid $100 less than you. And then, because of my boss being bolstered by all of these old teachers that he had, taking his side on not paying us enough, I left. I literally didn't come back to school again. I was like, well, I'm letting you know that I'm leaving. And I did. I got in a taxi, I climbed on a train, and then I left. I actually just left. All right. And my boss followed me. That was one of the saucy bossy parts. Like, I moved out all of my stuff, right? I had to use a service. Like, I dragged down all of my bags and my clothing, and then a guy on a scooter, essentially. He had 3 wheels on a scooter. He had like a little bed, but it was basically a scooter. A guy on a scooter rocked up to my apartment. I put my bags on his scooter, and then he drove away. There he went with all of my stuff, right? Everything that I have. I had a single backpack on me with 2 changes of clothing, because that's what I could fit with my laptop and because that I had to make sure I have with me, at least keep my computer, right? And then he went, and I get in the taxi, and my boss was living in the apartment just across from me. And I get in the taxi, and he gets in his car. And the taxi leaves, and he follows. And he followed me all the way up to the train station. I honestly believe that he didn't believe that I was going to do it. He didn't believe. He was like, nah, he's just bluffing. Fucking, I don't bluff. When I say I'm going to do something, bet your ass. Might take me some time, but I'm going to do it. I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. And then he follows me up until the train station. And then when I went into the train station, I think it kind of like sunk in for him that, oh, he's doing it. And then I got on the train and I went to Shanghai. Went from a little town called Huai'an all the way to Shanghai. Wonder if I can show that on the map, right? Huai'an was like an old-timey town in that way. Huai'an. In the Jiangsu province. Yeah. Let me close this out for now. That's where I lived in China. Huai'an in Jiangsu province. My freaking tablet is running out of charge. All right, up there on the tippity top of China. And then I got on the train. And it wasn't actually that far, and I'm seeing it, yeah. Got on the train and went all the way to Shanghai. And then after Shanghai, I went to Yangzhou. Yangzhou, I think, was somewhere in the middle. Or somewhere just above it. Wasn't the Nanjing province? Yeah, what an experience that was. I loved China's public transportation infrastructure. It was incredible. And I mean, better than you can imagine, incredible. One of my favorite parts of it is how seamless the process was, right? In South Africa, I've been on a train maybe like 4 times before, and you have to go up to a window, and then you have to tell them what train you're gonna use, and you have to know exactly what you're supposed to say, all right, what place you're gonna go or whatever, and then you pay your fee after they check some sort of ID or something, right? And then you go and you get on the train towards your destination. In China, you already have your ticket booked on your phone before you even get there. And like if you have your ticket booked, it shows up as a QR code on your phone. Or you have a QR code on your actual travel app or your train app. And then as you walk into, if you have the ticket beforehand or if you're using the travel app, you walk into a little gate that has a thing that opens and closes. You scan your phone's QR code, the gate closes out. You walk onto the train. All right. You don't have to talk to anybody. It's like literally easier than like basically like getting on a bus, right? Like the bus stops, you get on the bus. You don't have to talk to the bus driver about the bus that he's driving here. You can, of course, if you wanted to, but it's not a requirement. It was crazy. I appreciated that part a lot as well. And then, yeah, got scammed anyway by my other employers too. It was during COVID, right? So they scammed me because they were also probably getting scammed, right? Like people were not paying their tuition fees anymore, and yeah, I'm sure she still walked away from it, whole, even though I didn't. But it is what it is. You learn your lessons. I learned that I'm willing to stand up for myself. Willing, am I? Very willing. I think I'm scrolling up way far. There we go. I am paid, but not paid enough. So I keep coming back. Lemon eucalyptus would be my favorite eucalyptus. That sounds nice. Start a garden for the wholesome, truly organic food. It's food you don't have to buy. All the stuff that you want to eat kind of thing, right? Bruh, it's a common tale. Prairie, I've got a huge biodynamic organic veg patch. That's awesome, Michael. Prairie also gardens. I'd love to see it. If you'd be willing to share it, Michael. Anytime, Christy. All gnomes and fairies are welcome. You can share photos if you don't want this in your direct space, Michael. We do have a Discord. Melt with your oppositional thing. How does that play out if a boss telling you what to do? That's how it worked out, so Nachi. That is how it worked out. Like if I respect the boss, right? That's where it is for me. Oppositional defiance, I feel, comes from a lack of respect as well, right? That if you just tell me something because, right, it's something that you just want, right? And I don't respect that reasoning, right? You just want that. You want me to do whatever because that's what you want. No, I don't want that. And my not want of what you want outweighs your want of what you want for me. Right? So that's kind of how it works. If I respect my boss and my boss is respectful towards me and willing to pay me what I'm worth, right? Then I'm happy. I'm happy to do my job because now I'm not being coerced, right? I'm making a choice. I'm choosing to be here. I've chosen this, right? And as soon as I can identify that this is me choosing. I'm doing this, right? Then doors open. Like everything's easy suddenly, as if I choose it. If I don't choose it, then the universe will conspire not in my favor. Will literally, put roadblocks. I'll feel like I'm sludging, just through tar. But yeah, that's how it pretty much turned out. And then I just left. I had like one chat with him in person, with his like co-owner of the like place, right? And to like give you an idea as well, while he's paying me, it was at that point 9,000 RMB, all right, a month. Let's see what it is in today's currency. Does this thing have a currency one on it? No, it doesn't. It's fine, I can go here. You know what? Still pretty good money by today's standard. I was getting paid $1,338, right? However, the Russian that I was like friends with, who was working in the training center literally across from the street from us, right? Whose English was technically worse than mine, right? If we have to be judgmental about how good English, you know, how good English should be. Like for example, if he talked about an oven, he would say oven. He had such a thick accent that I loved him, but for what they're paying for, right? That's kind of like what they pay for. They want pronunciation. They want the kids to hear what the sounds are supposed to sound like. And I felt like even at that point that I was at least worth as much as my fellow Russian friend, my comrade, all right? And I go to my boss and I'm like, hey, this friend of mine is getting paid $1,000 more than me a month. All right, it's $2,231. He's getting paid $2,231. I'm getting paid $1,400. It's like that doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem okay. How about we, get some parity going on here? And then he was like, you know what? I don't think we can do that. Maybe if you finish working a whole year, we can have this conversation again. Like there is in your contract as well, like an automatic, I think it's either 500 or 1,000 RMB raise that you can expect. Probably 1,000. I think it was 1,000, right? So you're getting a $150 raise a year, right, per month. So that would be $1,800 raise per year, which barely keeps up with inflation as well. In China, it's not as big of a problem. Cost of living is also pretty affordable where I was living at the very least. But I didn't think that was okay. And then after that initial conversation, I went to my colleagues and I was informing them. I'm like, hey, this is the reality of the situation. The people in this town that we're living in that do, by standards, speak arguably worse English than we do, are being paid almost $1,000 more a month than we are, right? That's what the school is doing to us, right? And I've shared all of this perspective while we're being underpaid, and while they're hiring all of us, right? The reason they're hiring so much of us is because he built brand spanking new, right? Like fresh fittings, a brand spanking new training center, right? That's millions. That's millions. Like it's so much money he spent just building a whole building, right? But he can't pay his employees actually what they're worth. I was like, no, 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 no. Unacceptable. Cannot accept it. Will not. Will not accept it. Me too, Michael. It's incredible how much food it gives. I'm harvesting and putting food away for the winter all this month. I literally have green nails, GDs, all of the chlorophyll. What do you grow? A little bit of everything. Christy, what do you take? More words than YouTube can handle. That would take more words than YouTube can handle. What do you grow? I mean, you can send us 2 big text walls. I'd be happy to read them. What did you teach? English. I am also aware of some of the places like Vietnam are getting a bit hot full of the South Africans. They're getting hot full of the South Africans. I would not be surprised. There's a lot. There's a lot of South Africans that go over to Asia to go and teach English because it's a higher salary than you can expect to make in South Africa. Even the old salary that I mentioned, that's a very high salary by South African standards. You get paid, pretty much as much or more than a teacher in South Africa would, right? And then your housing is usually taken care of because you're not allowed as a foreigner to own property or rent property in China. So your school has to be the one fronting for your living. And then the bills are usually kind of wrapped into the same system as well. Yeah, so most of that money you get to keep. It's stuff you have to spend buying food on. It's awesome being able to go into your own garden for scallions and cilantro and basil, Nancy reminds. Let's say I haven't bought anything from a greengrocer for a couple of decades. Michael, that is really like goals. That's the way I see it. Thank you, MeltMore. Thank you, Jules. We have Thai basil and Italian basil. I didn't know there were different types. I guess there would be. What are different about them? I still want to grow rosemary. Don't know what I'm waiting for. Raised beds, maybe, because all of those things, if they have infinity ground, they'll be like, look at all of this real estate. Guess I'm gonna grow everywhere. I like the homegrown tomatoes because the tomatoes you buy in the grocery store are insipid, even the organic ones. I recently bought some heirloom tomatoes. Let me see exactly which ones. All of the heirloom tomatoes, specifically the one that has the folds. Sorry about that. It listens to me, it dictates my words into text, and then when it's supposed to hit enter on those words, it just deletes the entire sentence. And it drives me insane every time. So I got some of these tomatoes. At a farmer's market and then harvested some of the seeds. So I do have seeds on the ready to grow when the season will allow. Yep. These types. Not exactly that. Yep, there we go. This is what they look like. Bruh. Peace. Sometimes my technology will enrage me. Right? Like I clicked on what I thought was a photo and then it takes me to shopping. And I'm like, I wasn't gonna go shopping. That wasn't what I was doing, actually. Actually, don't try and sell something to me right now, actually. This is what they looked like. They were like those tomatoes. But the insides, I'm trying to find some inside photos. Yeah, close. Just add like some density to them. And they were tasty. Like really, really tasty. Like they almost had like an umami to them. Again of the product placements. Google. If I want to shop for something, I would click on a shop button. If I want to image of something, then I would like to click on the image. Do not take me to a shop if I click on an image, please. Or I will forget about it. Right? Because that's what's gonna happen. Is we're just not gonna want to use their tools anymore, right? Build our own. That's already happening. It's gonna be pretty cool. Any one of us is gonna be able to build our own AIs, right? And we'll be able to specify in that way very clearly. Say please to your machine. Don't do this ever. For never ever. If I want to buy something, I'll explicitly state it. Otherwise, I would like information. Yes, I have to plant some basil seeds this week. Frost season is almost over. Frost, where are you, Michael? Frost season is almost on its way again for us. Banana smoothies, yeah. Frost season. Prairie is also like, I don't know what I'm waiting for. It's so pretty. Some rosemary, oregano, and thyme just flourish. I'm in South Australia, so winter is almost over. Spring starts next week. Australia is such a good place to grow food as well. South Australia is the more lush part of Australia, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Buying it at the market is like $3 for a tiny bundle. Just grow that shit. I paid $6 for 5 big tomatoes, right? When I got it at the farmer's market. Was it $6? I feel like it was more even. It was an absurd amount. No, it was way more. I think it might have been closer to $16. Like, I spent a 50 on honey and tomatoes. I was like, how's that possible? How's that possible? How's that real? So I had to harvest the seeds to make myself feel like I bought seeds at least, not just tasty tomatoes. Our bitter melon is blooming, and the train's cables got stolen, so now you need a different train. Yeah, that's South Africa for you. That's the South African support system. We just harvest some Korean melons. The kids love it. That's awesome. I see, Michael. First process expected here in a few weeks. Korean melon, is that honeydew? I was also wondering, actually. I'm dreading winter. I miss living in Texas. I am really looking forward to winter. I love South Africa, but yeah, cold is where I thrive in, I think. I really do like the cold. They might like a scoop of ice cream and half a cantaloupe. Obviously, seeds removed first. That sounds crazy, Nancy. I've never had that. I would love that. The skin is yellow and the flesh is white. It has a crunchy texture and it's light in taste and it's refreshing. My son was so upset. He grew him a sumo orange tree from seed. My dad chopped it and now it's dead. Like, why? Yasi. Some remnants of the harm that he did. I'm sorry, Christy friend. Jeeves. I hope that, he won't be stomping on any more of your flowers. I looked it up. It's different to honeydew and they grow well. There you go. Considering getting some of those too, my cool is like, wait a second. Let me get some of those Korean melons. My neighbor behind me chopped down a beautiful birch tree in his backyard. It pierced my heart. I'm so sorry, Nancy. Watching someone cut down a tree, that's perfectly healthy, right? I guess I can understand if it's, on its way down. But yeah, that feels bad. Russian dude sounded like a berserker from Clerks, lol. It was crazy, Prairie Wolf. Like you hear the cartoonish, accents, right? But he did just straight up have the most thick Russian accent, and I loved it, right? Like for having a friend that talks like that, it felt very inspiring, right? Like it was so clear that he was from a completely different world than I'm from, right? And I would ask him to, say Russian things, and he would ask me to say Afrikaans things. We were homies, all right? And then one night, when we were hanging out, I go, "Can I ask you what you're getting paid?" And he tells me, he's like, "I get paid this much," and I'm like, "Yee." I tell him, "Oh wow, I'm getting paid." I tell him my salary, and he's like, "Oh." Uses a bunch of profanities. He's like, "You're getting profanities." And I'm like, "It seems like that." He's my friend. He's looking out for a homie. He's like, "Yeah, you should come and work for my school," he says. Like, my school will pay you at least more than that, right? But I wanted to get paid more ist. I should have probably just sticked around there. That would have probably been the better bet for me. But I got to meet a bunch of new friends, right? I would have never met Casey and Victoria if I didn't go to Shanghai, and they are the friends that I still have contact with, right? I still send them messages every now and then. So yeah, silver linings, right? The cool people we meet along the way. Good night, nice chatting with you. Sleep well, my cool. It is time for you to get some rest. It is late. Have a good one. Subscribe. We'll see you again. So I'm considering something, you guys. I'm not employed yet as a yoga teacher. And there is a fitness gym wanting a teacher. They've been running this ad for months now. What's the worst that can happen, Sam? The worst that can happen is they say no, right? The best that can happen is you have a job doing something you love, teaching people just like you on this journey, right? And you're a great teacher, Sam. You are already a great teacher. I've had a few classes of Sam, and she's spicy, all right, with her teaching style. She's like, how would I describe Sam's teaching style? Grounded in reality, and almost from that grounded in realityness up, right, playful in the process. Sometimes spicy with that playfulness, right? You might hear something you didn't expect to hear in a yoga class, but that's the way that I see your teaching style, Sam. You should go for it. Do it, Sam. So much encouragement here in chat. Yeah, again, worst thing that can happen is they say no, right? And then you're in the same spot you're in right now, right? So nothing is going to change about your life if you do it or not, but something good can change for your life if you do it, right? So only wins if you try. Remember though, you're also interviewing them to see if they're a place that you actually want to work for. Absolutely. The online presence for this place features a lot of very physically fit ladies, and I'm currently carrying all my spare weight up front. I do not appear to fit the company culture. That might be true. That might be true. At least from the marketing kind of side, right? But I do believe that most people that go to the gym don't look like that, right? I don't look like that even. I don't look like the kind of dudes they put on any gym's promotional material either, right? I feel like they put that up there because it's supposed to be aspirational or something. You can be aspirational, having your body, still teaching yoga, right? In fact, might even get more people into fitness because they can see, look, if Sam can move, Sam can be physically fit, I can be too. The online presence, let's again, yeah, I've read that one. Like, this is an upscale neighborhood. If they wanted a thin Ashtanga teacher, it wouldn't be hard to find one. You can't swing a dead cat over there without hitting someone who does that shit. That's hilarious. Maybe. I gotta wonder why the position has been vacant all this time and who exactly these people are looking for. Maybe that could be the curiosity to explore as well. Maybe in applying, you can find information you would otherwise not have access to. Still, it's good practice to interview. You'll see it's kind of an environment that you want to teach in, exactly. Did you do TEFL course? I did do a TEFL course, yeah. Yep. I got 100% in my DEFL, right? They give you like a pretty like I think like a 70% pass margin, and I got 100% for my TEFL course. It's basically just like grammar. It's like understanding English grammar. Like you have to understand the basics of English to be able to teach it, and that just makes sure that you do in fact understand the basics. Well, China doesn't allow property ownership for foreigners. Nope. And they can buy farmland here. I wonder if it's still like that. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. Are you allowed as a foreigner to own an apartment or rent in China? Hey, you can buy. So, okay, yeah. They've now made it more flexible for renters if you have a valid visa to rent as a foreigner. So that's actually working. However, by law, you must register with the local police station within 24 hours of moving into a new rental. Hotels do this automatically, but if you rent an apartment, you and your landlord need to handle it. Yeah, that I got literally, they came to my house and took me to the police station because I didn't do that. I forgot, or I didn't know actually. When I moved out first, I didn't know that that was a requirement, right? And I found out. And then buying an apartment, the 1 year rule. As a general baseline, you must have lived, worked, or studied in China continuously for at least a whole year under a valid resident permit or a short-term business visa. Tourist or a short-term business visa do not apply. One property limit. Foreign individuals are generally restricted to owning only one residential property, and it must be for personal self-dwelling use. You cannot buy properties as an investment to rent it out to other people. Local variations, rules can vary by city, but major hubs like Shanghai or Beijing may have additional requirements, such as providing you have paid local income tax or social insurance for a certain number of months. And then there's no golden visa. Owning property in China does not grant you residency rights, a visa, or a pathway to citizenship. Your legal right to stay in the country is entirely separate from your property ownership. It's crazy. It is. That's the part of it that's kind of still like yasi bobasi. Right? I think China can be a nice place to live if they let people. All right. The amount of hoops you have to jump through, the having to announce yourself to the police station of every place that you get to as a foreigner, right? When you get there, I wonder, do you also have to announce, Laura, go to the local police station when you move into new places as a local as well? If that's the case, that's extra bonkers. No, okay. Chinese citizens do not have to go through the 24-hour station period. Cool, at least. Yeah. Just like I think that's also a part of it that it's easy to forget, right? Like that is such a hassle. Like being forced to paperwork and forced to government bureaucracy all the time, nonstop, right? There's a little bit of that happening here too, but it's not as excessive at least, right? The expectations aren't as high. Is it possible that position is filled and they haven't changed the ad? Call or find out. Yeah. You never know if you don't try. Interviews are always stressful and give me anxiety. Cheers, Jules. It was nice having you here. Have a good one. You're probably already gone. You never know. Go for it if it's what you want. Sam, I know what you mean though. Hi, bro. Like the live. Bye. Thank you, Flynn. Have a good one. It was nice having you here. Thank you, Nan. Clinically obese gal works at gym is not a headline that exists anywhere. By the numbers, I am not healthy. I'm getting better every day, but I don't know if I can handle the shame. Oh, Sam friend. I believe in you. And I know that there is room for you to believe in yourself as well. I have attended your yoga classes, right? That is something that you can say has happened. And I think that's what's important for you to remember. It's not about what your body type looks like. It's about the fact that you are, in fact, a teacher. You have your certification. You are continually studying and trying to get better. You do show up with mindfulness when you do have the opportunity to teach a class. And that's what you have. That's something that your physical appearance, cannot show. Only your actions can. And you have shown those actions beautifully. On the other hand, I have prayed this opportunity to have access to a gym, to be able to hit up a sauna and to teach. Yeah, having access to a sauna would be sick. And all of those things could be mine for the low, low price of visibility. Let yourself be seen, Sam. You are a beautiful person. That's the truth. During the COVID, I worked at home. I worked out at home online. I did a lot of group sessions and classes. Have you considered that? There you go. Sam, that's the thing. There are fit-looking people who used to be overweight. Some of those people might be working there. But yeah, if they're not welcoming, fuck that. Exactly. Agreed. My body has held on to a lot of this because of stress. I'm taking antioxidant tea and addressing the root issue now. And I've seen immediate results, Christy. Yeah, we, like now is the opportunity, had some turmeric and cream in our tea last night. Sam and me and Joe talked about you mentioning your golden honey. Yellow, yeah, golden milk. There we go. The problem, hey, Hoopty is here. The problem wasn't that I wasn't working out enough, is that my brain wasn't producing the right chemicals. Apparently, that can like fuck some shit up. Yep. And unfortunately, once you get into that unhealthy state, it doesn't make it any easier for your body to, as you said, produce those right chemicals. So it's like the self-reinforcing loop, and getting to a point where you can, as you said, become more mindful, addressing the problem underneath, it takes a lot, right? And it doesn't just instantly make a difference in the grand scheme, right? You still have to then, after you have made that immediate shift, you have to then spend months and sometimes years, working on it still. It's been on my mind for a while now. How many people who look like me walk through those doors only once and then never again? And why? Because no one like me is there to show them that they belong there. Yeah, exactly. Sam, thank you for taking care of yourself. That's Hoopty. Sending love. I love you guys. Thank you for all the kindness that you show. This is one of those moments where we get to be the community that you need. Dear Sam, this is what you found us for. We love you. Spicy playfulness. Sam, yeah, we're all here for each other. Gym anxiety is a thing though, and I hate it. And I have it, she says. I've literally never even gone to one, Christy. I've never had class in a yoga studio either. Totally alien world. What's good, friends? You, among other things. I'm good too. How are you feeling, Hoopty, today? For a while, when I was working, I had a membership at the Y. Totally different vibe than what you're talking about, Sam. But I did have initial anxiety going. Oh wow, China does. Hire papira bita too. I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. My question about living in China is, can you get good Mexican food? I had my first tacos in China. Once from Taco Bell, which was kind of mid, but not bad. And then once from a nice, cute little quaint hole-in-the-wall taco place. And it was kind of good, actually. Pretty nice. Good, because that could be a deal breaker for me. Indian food, I didn't have much of. But there were, like, Nanshi, if food is what you're into, you would like China. Yeah, China has lots of food options. Like, excessive amount of food options, even. Too much food options. You would literally, if you lived in a big city, even if you lived in Huai'an, right, you won't be able to eat at all the places, right? And you won't be able to taste all the flavors. Like, it just would not be a thing you could do. You can try though, and that's the fun part. Sam, do you want to consider going with a friend? I personally couldn't go just by myself. Try it out with someone with you. That's good advice, actually. Appearances are never the whole story. That is too. Maybe you can go with your mom, Sam. Right? You don't have to go and do something. You can just like scope it out. Maybe you can like talk with her about it, being like, "Whoa, look at this place." All right. Ask about the sauna. Maybe use it. Maybe just go and use a sauna even. Brad Pitt is looking well, celebrating you. I'm allowed to. I breathe, I blossom. Oh yeah, keep doing so. Hoopty hoops. China on you, crazy diamond. That's so much love, Nancy. I love that. I only gym with other people. I don't like doing it alone. I had a home gym in Denver, and I enjoyed that more. No one staring at you or feeling judged. Maybe consider doing sessions on Zoom with people. Yeah. Mexican food in China makes me lol. The fact that the first time I ever had Mexican food was in China is, I think, the funniest part, Shangololobra. Right? I had to go to China to try Mexican food because South Africa was clearly too far away. Bro, I'm with you. And she is also laughing. It was pretty funny, right? And again, this was a long time ago, but up until that point, it was the best taco that I've ever had. I think I've had some good tacos, but it was still, I think, top 10 tacos that I had in China. As we say here, yeah, no. Yeah, no. How about Nair? I think it's time for us to pull a card. Yeah, yeah, no. Look, hey. Yes, you don't go to China for Mexican food, lol. I'm sorry. I'm making a joke. I had the best burrito in my life from an authentic Mexican food truck, right? It had like skulls. It had like skulls and bones on the outside of it, right? It was so cool. Freaking awesome. And then I get this like unit of a burrito, right? Like a little child of a burrito. Like I'm not joking. Probably a kilogram. Shongololobra, a kilogram burrito. Like 2 pounds plus. 2 pound plus burrito. This freaking I barely finished it. And I can eat like a monster. I barely finished it. For like $12. And it was great. It was so good. I have finally understood why people like Mexican food. I was like, wow. I had some like generic Miguel's and El Compadres Mexican food here in this little town. And they're not bad, but they're not inspiring, not too much. Do you know Afrikaans? Yeah, sorry. I do know Afrikaans. Yes. I'm like reacting the way I am because I'm like, I thought you knew. Sorry. You have to go to Chinatown and get the real deal. Yes. You have to go to Chinatown for the good Mexican food. Chinese takeout isn't real Chinese food here in the States either. True. Yeah. The corpo companies just like suck out all the good stuff, all the life out of your food, right? And you just pay lots of money for nothing. I don't know that we get to judge them considering what we do to Chinese cuisine. That's hilarious. Takeout style Chinese is a celebration of excess, like craft singles. You won't find it anywhere else. Yeah, you find craft singles in South Africa too. So you'd be surprised. South Africa and America has a lot in common. They're like cousins. In more ways than I think I want to admit. Don't get me wrong. I still order it. Still gonna get some. Let's pull a card, shall we? It's time. It's time for us to pull a card. Can you tell me when to stop? When I see the words stop and chat, dim sum, you imported from us. Panda Express. I don't think we have a Panda Express here. I don't know if it's just a West Coast thing. You import from us that style of cheeses because of the massive American backlog of cheese from farm reform area. Yeah, it's true. Subsidies. Yes, we will buy your milk. You make milk, we'll buy this Dara number. And then you're like, wait a second, if the more I make of this, the more Dara I get. And then just excessive amounts of milk gets produced. And then suddenly you have to do something with it. And turning it into cheese is a good way to store it. Doesn't go bad as fast. It's ass. No. There we go. Over. Halt. Ah, that's some pain. You think that's funny, Nancy? That's funny to you? That's painful. Yo, that's not funny. I don't think that's funny at all. I'm gonna breathe. Alright, take some breaths. Support the local on the wall. Go to a place called Mandarin House. The door to it. Dude, you guys have to come to the East Coast. Food here slaps. I'm hungry just thinking about it. I'm gonna go and consume food right now. I'm probably gonna cut myself a steak of watermelon. Yes. Local Thai places here are better, especially in New York. So you see, this is why I have rules. This is why I don't food talk in chat, because instead of freaking telling me to stop and stuff, we're talking about New York Steakhouse or something. Yay, Star Merkaba, but this card came flying out. You saw that? This card is like, hey, me too. How about me as well? Star tetrahedron. It isn't Star Merkaba. It isn't Merkaba. The star tetrahedron. And this one, this one's receive. There is a Merkaba's two-dimensional shape on her belly. It takes two, buddy. It takes two to tango. It takes two to tango, hoopty hoops. I'm having fun here, bro. I'm just joking. I'm not actually being serious. I'm just poking fun. All right, I'm poking fun back. I can do that. I can do that too, right? I'm being playful. I'm having some fun with it. What? There is the star tetrahedron. Yeah, peacocking. There you go. There you go. You understand, hoops. You understand this. These cards do go together, I feel. 12 and 64. This important three-dimensional shape is, in sacred geometry, the interpenetration of two tetrahedrons. One upward-facing male triangle and the other downward-facing female. Together they form a beautiful configuration called the star tetrahedron, or Merkaba. The Merkaba is believed to be an instrument of expanded awareness, a space-time vehicle for multidimensional travel, and a path towards ascension. Choosing this card connects you with aspects of your being that stretch beyond everyday life and promise to support your understanding of evolving consciousness and universal wisdom. You may want to employ this image to help balance your male and female aspects. You might decide to construct your own, embellish it with personal symbols. You may wish to learn one of the breathing meditations that are widely available to help you experience the Merkaba as an interdimensional vehicle. Any way you decide to apply this energy, regard it as a powerful model for the manifestation of dynamic balance and the evolution of vision. And Christy, wanted to pull a card as well, so I feel like it's extra apt that we pull 2 cards right now. Isn't there a lunar eclipse tonight? Partial lunar eclipse, right? I think so. And I hope it's not overcast. It's looking kind of clear for us. Pinky crossed that it stays that way. I have a question. Has anyone ever seen a ghost, a shadow, or something similar? Yes. Lots. So much. They usually don't want to be seen, right? They're usually hiding in my periphery. But that could just be my mind creating a signal that's not there. I saw another one yesterday. Yes, Christy, why do you ask? Yeah. I haven't told Joe. And Joe, if you're here right now, you need to not listen at this part of the stream. I'm serious. I wanted to tell her, but I was also like, I shouldn't tell her because she doesn't need to know that, right? But you can know this because you're not in our room. But I'm not giving it any power by talking about it. Just so you know, universe, I'm talking about it because I'm curious, right? But 2 nights ago, I woke up in the middle of the night. Man, my stream just bonked. I'm getting goosebumps now suddenly. Feels like I'm not supposed to talk about it. I'm getting like literally that like hair rising in the back of my head feeling. 2 nights ago, I woke up in the middle of the night. And instantly my attention was drawn to Joe's side of the bed, the edge of the bed, right? It was like I woke up and I looked for some reason, right? Woke up and looked. And as I looked, there was a head, but a small one, right? A head like maybe the size of my hand that ducked. Look at me getting goosebumps. I wish I was joking. I'm literally getting goosebumps talking about this shit. And I was horrified. I won't lie. Instantly, I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Joe was next to me, so I kind of like just checked that she was here. And then I pretended to sleep. I was like, that was just a little thing. No, that was just a little thing that you saw. It wasn't real or whatever. Please tell me it wasn't real. And then I went back to sleep. And then I thought about it last night when going to bed, and I wanted to say something, but I was like, no, I shouldn't talk about this. So yeah, that's a big nope for me, boss. Shankalolabra. Yeah. The fact that it was a small head kind of gave me some solace, right? It wasn't a big imposing figure. It was something small. But it ducking away, right? Like I wake up and I look. That was the thing that was weird to me. It was like something in me had to wake up for me to look, right? To make it know that, hey, I am very aware and you can't just sneak up on me or whatever. I fucking got him. But still, I was like, oh my goodness, oh no. That's a big no for me, boss. I'm so sorry. Jungle, bro. Yeah, Christy had to ask a question. I saw another one yesterday. Christy, for the woo kind of stuff, it's audio or feeling for me. I was getting laundry and I saw a figure walk by me. But there's worse things. When I lived with my dad's, I woke up and saw him tied up next to my bed. Oh my goodness. That's the big no for me, boss. If your third eye is active and you can receive, sometimes you'll see shit like this time of year. It said this time of year thing. Don't panic, it's normal. Don't tell me that. I'm gonna start panicking. Right? This is gonna now be an annual thing I have to experience. America, what's going on? What's going on? Why is all of the weird shit happening here, bro? Like, wait. Don't panic, it's normal. It's cool. It'll cool off October. Just say hi and go about your business. Damn, Melt. I would have woken up my partner. What restraint. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. Right? Because it was so fast. That was the thing, right? It was like, wake up, look, see a little dark head duck down, you know, like, like literally, like it was like staring over the bed edge. And then as soon as I looked at it, it was like, I'm getting more goosebumps. Stop. It's not that scary. It's not that scary. It was quick. But yeah, waking Joe up and be like, oh, I think there's a creature inside here with us. I don't think that would translate. Yeah. I did really try and go back to sleep quickly, pretending that it didn't happen, kind of thing. It was like, nah, that was just, I just pretended or thought I saw something. Could have just imagined that I saw something for a second. Yeah. sleeps again. I was like, hello, I saw you. I'm not scared of you. I'm alive. You're dead. I don't know if it was dead. Maybe it was. Maybe. Suddenly more weirdness. My girlfriend says that she sees a black figure in a specific corner of her parents' house and is like, off in there. I don't know. Ah, yes. It's a seeing shit season. We share the space of other entities that occupy other dimensions. That's all you guys are seeing. You're seeing it because the space teaches you to. The space teaches you to. If I wanted to hurt you, I'd know it long before seeing it. Yeah, that's the other thing as well. Like, it's very hard for those things to hurt. Right? You are the more powerful entity in the cosmic hierarchy. Right? What you are is actually pretty crazy, right? The premise of what you should believe about yourself is that you are divine, right? In the Bible, right? In some of the old texts, the humanity is talked to as God's brother, right? You are like God's brother. You're made in His likeness. You are made in God's Father's likeness, right? Which would be His own likeness as well, depending on which books you read. We are divine entities, right? That's kind of the basis of trying to transmute, lead into gold as well, is that if you are divine, then you can technically use your powers. You can. I do have stories to tell, but the character limit prevents it. Maybe we can have a whole story about scaries, right? Maybe this Halloween, we all talk about our ghost stories. That could be fun, right? I have more ghost stories as well, right, that my mom have told me. Because entities visit me, and as a child, they visited me more. Yes. And I would have conversations with them. And I would talk to my mom about these conversations that I had afterwards. And she was like, yeah, that didn't happen. I hope. I forgot, but it sounds like Jin. Oh, a Jin. That's it. Yes, I saw one at my dad's as well. That house was haunted AF. He built me a shrine above my bedroom door. Your dad? Or the Jin? Having a shrine built for you by an entity, that would also mess with me a little bit. Alright, we got one more card to read. Card number 64. 60. And technically, I feel like this is the card you chose, Sam. This is the card that Katie asked for. This is the first card, and this is your card. The core meaning of this card, and I feel like it should be related to your experience. My dad built it. Okay, that's okay. Good. With your whole wanting to maybe show up for that work opportunity, readiness and receptivity. Receive that work opportunity. You are ready. This is the final card in the sacred geometry cards for the visionary path. Embedded in the background of this image is a stunning geometry that appeared as a crop formation in 2003. The figure is charged with readiness and receptivity. Her outstretched arms and open hand chakras are expressions of trust, of openness, and of infinite potential. She is a lightning rod and receptor of universal information and infinite wisdom. We just talked about the alien stuff. DNA spirals appear as pillars or antennae in support of her readiness. This card celebrates the transformation that is taking place in our experience of reality and our willingness to shift from the separation of duality to the certainty of our connectedness with all that is. Sacred geometry is one way that information and energy are entering consciousness. At this time, you are gaining greater appreciation for and are participating in the evolution of consciousness. As you continue your visionary path, allow your awareness and understanding of sacred geometry to nurture your evolution. Let this card be a signpost of your willingness to become a beacon of hope and a guiding light for those still caught in the old paradigm of separation. Remain receptive to the messages you are receiving and give thanks for your conscious participation. Thank you for your conscious participation, friends. I appreciate it. It is such a pleasure getting to share this moment with you. I saw one of those, Christy. And a scepter. He had buddies with him too, moving around in a circle and shit. Oh, hell no. You know it's right. Up out of bed, grabbed my robe and fucking vaulted right downstairs. Wasn't the corner of my bedroom. Yeah. Your connectedness with all that is. Prairie wolf. Sometimes that's how it be. Yeah. Connected with that little entity too. Not separate. Alright. Connected. I appreciate you, friends, and thank you for joining me again. What a pleasure it was. I'll see you again soon. Let's say goodnight to the lava lamp. Huh. There we go. It was beautiful. Thank you, friends, for being here with me. I appreciate ya. Start devs. Something slapped my face. Cheerio. Cheerio. Good show. Have a good day. I'll see you friends again soon. Tomorrow.